So I'll be honest, I've lost interest for the Avengers project, not to the extent where I won't buy the game, but I'm not as excited for it as I was for Spider-Man. For the longest time, it seemed like A-Day was the only footage being shown, and with the lack of gameplay and mention of microtransactions being present in the game, it simply diminished my interest from the same level of interest I had for Spider-Man, a reason why I stopped covering the game on this channel. However, new footage has recently been revealed this last month or so, with one example being Kamala Khan's traversal mechanics, which look fun, but the big news that caught my attention, and I'm sure yours, Spider-Man will be available in the game as a PlayStation exclusive. I did speculate on this a while back when it was first announced that PS4 users would have access to exclusive content not available on other systems, and there was also talk of the game being connected to Insomniac's world, even with many believing Spider-Man would be helping the Avengers on the West Coast during the events of Miles Morales. According to information released by PlayStation Blog, this Spider-Man will be a different interpretation than Insomniac's and will be available for PS4 users free of charge once the character joins the game in 2021. So it looks like Spider-Man won't play a predominant role in the game, but he'll be added as free DLC in early 2021 that really won't affect the game's story. By the end of the year, players will have two new versions of Spider-Man to play with Miles Morales and the Avengers Spider-Man in two separate games. Mentioned in the article includes information about the character's playstyle, which will include his standard combat style, a skill tree to upgrade like the other heroes, and new technologies available from the Avengers heroes and more. I made a joke about him basically being the MCU Spider-Man, but technology shared between the team is expected even between other heroes. There's also mention of the costume being inspired by the works of Ditko and Romita Sr. I'm curious to what it looks like, but I wouldn't expect more than the classic suit given their description. It doesn't necessarily mean he'll use the beat per beat Ditko suit. So with the character being announced as the Avengers' own take on the character, I'm a bit confused to why this is a PlayStation exclusive, considering Spider-Man's rights aren't even with PlayStation, only one version is. People forget Spider-Man characters were in Ultimate Alliance on the Switch, so while it's fun to make fun of the other console players for not being able to play as Spider-Man, honestly I feel like this could be a timed exclusive, and maybe it eventually makes its way to the Xbox or Stadia if that's still a thing. And maybe the character is free to PS4 users but eventually comes to other consoles at a cost. One concern I also have is the traversal, considering the article mentions that the character needs to adapt to areas without buildings, but I wouldn't expect the swinging, if there is any, to be good as Spider-Man PS4's, maybe something similar to Shattered Dimensions. However, Kamala Khan's traversal looked decent from what I've seen, and her powers even have contact with the environment, so for a swinging system I at least want the webs to do something other than attach to clouds given the chance. There's no mention of a voice actor in the article, but my choice would be Christopher Daniel Barnes, the GOAT, although I know some of you would like to see Josh Keaton, another great choice. So there you have it, my brief thoughts on Spider-Man joining the Avengers game. Even if he wasn't in the game, I still would have played it, although I kinda lost interest, and even with Spider-Man being added, it is good news, but I'm wondering if this is even going to matter come 2021, especially with Miles Morales being released not too long before. So let me know what you guys think of this, and if you'll be getting the game now that Spider-Man is in it if you weren't before. And as always, thanks for watching, be sure to subscribe, follow my social medias, hit that like button, and I will see you guys again in my next video.